Hi, my name's Kyle Stevens and I'm from Core Productions.
Hi, I'm John. I'm the director of the 2013 production of Boys Own McBeth. My vision for the production is to not so much regurgitate or put on something that was already done in 1981. I would like to take an original view of Boys Own McBeth, because I really think that although it's a comedy, all comedy has an underlying story to it, and it's the characters in action that actually make the comedy. The comedy is in the interaction between the characters, between the actors. It's not so much the be-all and end-all of the production. I think Boys Own McBeth is a production and a musical that has a much deeper story, and a very touching story at that. I think it is a story about a man who is afraid, like most of us, of what lies out of the secure boundaries of home or school or education, the big bad world, so to speak. And we see his security blanket destroyed. He's thrown out of Dunsinane. And I am hoping that in this production of Boys Own McBeth, the audience will be treated not just to comedy, but will also be treated to a very touching story about a man who has spent his entire life at school in a secure environment and never having to face the outside world. All that is stolen from him, and he's broken and very much left alone without anybody. And I think that's partly one of the messages of Boys Own McBeth, that in a sense we are all old boys, we were old boys, and we're always looking for those good old schoolboy days that we could go back to, which we knew were with friends, with girlfriends, with boyfriends if you're a girl, or not if you're Elston. Just those secure environments and those good old days that we can look back to with smiles.
I think Kate Simmons is really becoming her character. It's a little bit scary because I'm starting to call her Maury. Every time I see her, I'm just like, hey Maury, how are you going? Because I really think she is Maury. She is becoming Maury McBeth.
You have Alex, who's playing Headmaster Clifford Tobias. Clifford Tobias has been a boy of old Dunsinane, the college that the entire production is set in. He is very, very close friends with Terry Shakespeare, to the point where it almost seems as though he not only favours Terry in a sense, but he has this sense of being walked over by Terry because they just know one another and are very, very good friends. He is a man who is caught between a rock and a hard place. He has a joker like Terry Shakespeare at the school that he has to deal with. Terry not caring very much about anybody or anything except himself and his own well-being tends to put the school and Clifford Tobias in very, very tight positions, especially with the board and one member in particular, Mr. Hunt, whose son, Charles, is currently the head boy at Dunsinane College. So Charles Hunt is very much that pompous little prig that attends this very expensive college, roams about the school as if he owns it because his daddy is on the board and silver spoon feeding him the money to pay his education, and also tries to hold that over Terry Shakespeare and his sons, who are seemingly more middle class or lower class, if you will, than Hunt and his own father and his family as well.
Teachers like Mr. Elston have to be reminded sometimes about the boundaries of student-teacher relationships. Now, we live in a very non-discriminatory environment in education. The choices or the lifestyle that it's not so much a lifestyle, but who Elston is, what he prefers is not an issue.
Baby, we must have scripts. No, not crisps. Scripts.
I turned to SS, didn't you? No, not crisps, scrisps. No,
No, what?
no scrisps.
Terry, we must have scripts.
The only issue is the safety of our students, and while I don't think Mr. Elston is at any risk of betraying the trust that parents have placed in him, it is something that we always encourage an open discussion, dialogue about teacher-student relationships, not just with Mr. Elston, but with every member of the staff.
Mr. Tobias, if there was to be one word to sum up yourself and your life and your achievements in one word, what would it be?
One word is hard to do. That depends on the on the day you ask. Attempting still comes to mind. Attempting.
Well, Mr. Tobias, thank you very much for your time.
That's all right, Mr. Apotzis.
Thanks very much for the opportunity to talk to you guys. I hope you come along and watch Boyzone Macbeth. Enjoy.
This is Core Productions, Kyle out.